So, Nalini, welcome to the show. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Well, thank you, first of all, to invite me on your show, Tree. And I think I have to congratulate you for the really good concept. It's a really nice concept. And also, the name is amazing. It's like Bulletproof Entrepreneur, and that's all what we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's all what we need to be. So, well, I started being an entrepreneur without even knowing I was an entrepreneur. In fact, I consider myself more as an artist than an entrepreneur. And it all started very young. I was only like 17, 18 when it all started. And I started performing shows. And for me, I was an artist, but obviously I was selling my shows and I was making money out of my shows. And I was already an entrepreneur without me knowing about it, you know. I
Okay.
didn't really plan to become an entrepreneur, really.
Oh, okay. So you're 17, 18. I assume you had graduated from high school at the time, correct?
Yeah, I just finished high school at that time.
Okay. So what happens? I'm sure you're born and raised in Africa. Your parents are of Indian descent, and here you are practicing dance and having shows. Didn't your parents have any aspirations of wanting you to become like a doctor, lawyer, accountant, or something like that? And then, what was their reaction when they saw you dancing for a living?
It's true. Well, I'm lucky to have parents who understand me. My mom and dad really supported me into everything that I wanted to do, but they thought I would choose something like conventional. My dad used to be, he's no more now, so he used to be
Okay.
a professional in the hotel business, in the tourism industry. So that's why I thought I would do as well. I started by being a tourist guide, and then I was a guest relation officer in a hotel. And it just happened to me while I was working in a hotel, and I was at the same time following my dance classes, and there was a TV show on my teacher, and one of my friend who used to be the entertainment manager of the hotel where I used to work, he saw me on television on the reportage on my teacher. He saw me among the students, you know. So next day I came back to work, and he told me, "Hey, I saw you on television. You were dancing." I said, "Yeah, I'm following dance classes." And he said, "I need a troupe to do the Indian dance show in the hotel. So why don't you do that?" I said, "No, no way. I can't do it because I'm not ready. I'm still learning." He said, "Oh, come on, you can do it. I'll help you to do that." And I took up the challenge, and I said, "Okay, let's do just to like a like a part-time job, or just to have some fun." And I started with few friends without even knowing that one day it would become my main profession, and it's all how it started. So obviously when I announced it to my mom, well, she saw it taking birth. She saw the Nalini Dance company taking birth in front of her, and she encouraged me. I was quite surprised. She encouraged me. My dad also encouraged me, my sisters and everybody. Because I have to say that at that time, like 18 years ago, there was a gap. There was a lack of entertainment, and there was a gap in that sector. So I said, why not take the challenge without really knowing that it would be my main business? And this is how it all started.
Oh, that's great. So, after your first show, how did you build up on your skills and improve and start, you know, marketing yourself to people that required your services in Mauritius?
Yeah, so I was lucky, I have to say. As I told you, there was a gap in that sector,
Yeah.
and when I launched myself, it just happened naturally. You know, people started getting interested because it was nicely done, and they liked what they saw, they liked what we performed, and from one hotel, another hotel contacted us and asked us to do the Indian show in their hotel as well, and it was all about promoting the Indian culture. You know, we used to do like the classical dance of India, the folk dance of India, and also what was interesting at the time was we used to give a demonstration of how to wear the sari.
Okay,
So
that's interesting.
that was different. So we came with different ideas that nobody was doing before that. So I think that's the new form, the new concept was what was more attractive, and it went really quick, and it was, I didn't even have to do the marketing about it. It went through word of mouth.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how long did you run the dance company before you now branched out into fashion and making movies?
Well, we did. I earned my living, and I fed my family, I have to say, with only my shows
Oh,
for
okay.
15 long years.
Wow.
And then it happened that a few years ago, we had the financial crisis. So my main market was hotels. I was working mainly with hotels, and I didn't get the time to prepare myself, and the financial crisis was here, and out of nowhere I started out of 40 shows per month, I found myself with only 10 shows per month, and I wasn't really prepared for that, and it was quite a lot of panicking for me, because it was all my life. I started, I'll tell you how I started. I started with one costume. I took an old sari of my grandma, and I did the costume myself. This is how I started. I started from scratch, and suddenly I saw everything coming down, and then I had to react. I had to do something about it, because all what I knew what to do is dance. I didn't know anything about apart from dancing. I didn't know anything. I didn't take any courses or nothing. So I said, now I have to do something. And I'm not. I think from a very young age I knew that I was a leader. I had the leadership skills in me, and there was no way I could go and work with somebody else. There was no way I could have a boss. That's a bit of my character. So I said, no, I'm not going to go to work, wake up at 6:30 in the morning and come back at 8 p.m. or whatever. I'm used to have my freedom, so I want that freedom. That's precious to me.
Yes.
And this is when I came to. I came with an idea. The new concept of a one-stop shop for fashion and beauty, and I talked about it to my mom, and she said, okay, as usual, she said, okay, go for it if that's what you want, so go for it. So that's how I started the new concept, because I used to be I'm still a very busy person, and I always imagine why don't anybody come up with an idea where a lady could go to one single place and she finds everything she needs at that place. So she could dress up herself, she could do her makeup, she could do her hair, and she could do her facials and everything. So I had that idea, and at that time there was a TV show launched by a bank, the Development Bank of Mauritius, and they launched a TV show about entrepreneurship. And I said, let me just for a trial, let me just present that project of a one-stop shop for fashion and beauty. And this is how my project got selected. So I went on television. It's a little bit like the kind of entrepreneur TV shows that you see, with Donald Trump and everything.
Okay.
So I was a candidate in that.
Okay.
And surprisingly, my project came. I was the first runner-up. So I got a financial support from the bank, and they believed in me. They trusted my project, and this is how I started the new business. The thing is that I realized that I had to bump at the right time for me not to not to go backwards. I knew how to jump back to my fall back, and I can tell you that as any leader, I came to take off of a bad how do you say, a bad experience to make it become a new experience and a successful one.
Okay.
So that's all how it started.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. And so this TV show, I think I remember reading somewhere that it's kind of like, is it kind of like the one with Naomi Campbell, like the fashion show? I forget what it's called, but there's a fashion show. Could you explain the
Yeah,
concept itself that for the TV
yeah,
show?
that's another thing. That's a TV show. Well, in the questionnaire that you sent me, I read a very interesting question which says, what would you do again and again
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur? So that's something I do again and again. You
Okay.
know, it's with like my existence, my career has been celebrating its 18 years old December last, and I have to say that I haven't, my business or my profession hasn't taken any wrinkle yet. That's because I keep on reinventing and reinventing, and I keep diversifying. If something doesn't work, I know it's not working, so I stop it and start something else. And that's about, it's all about bringing new ideas, coming up with new concepts, and trying doing new experiments. And that's how I came up with a TV show this time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm always doing new crazy things, you know.
So how do you come up with ideas?
So, well, first of all, I have to precise that I have a background of television. I used to be a TV presenter,
Okay.
and that way I used to be a web girl of Mauritius. So I used to, I followed courses. I
Okay.
followed courses on audiovisual, everything to do with television and cinema. So I said, okay, so now this is set up, let's do something new. You know, it's like all of us, all the entrepreneurs, all passionate people who can't stay without doing anything. You know, you always have to do something to keep yourself busy. So I said, okay, let's come up with that new idea now. Let's do a TV show. And I presented a project to the NBC, which is the Mauritius Broadcasting Corporation, and we loved the idea. And this is how I started, with my husband as the director of the show, and I was the conceptor, and I did the marketing of the show and everything. I did the casting, and you know, that's how Beauty Queen was born.
Okay, so it's called Beauty
And
Queen.
after that, we had a second TV show. So Beauty Queen was the first reality show of Mauritius,
Okay.
and the idea was to find 12 girls, and we accompanied them to become models, and at the same time we empowered them to become better women in the society, if I can say it that way. And we empowered them by giving them modules on public speaking, personality development, the art of living, you know, many things like catwalking, posing for the camera, and everything. It was on a 13-week broadcast on television. And then after the success of Beauty Queen, we came up with a second concept, which is Perfect Player. The TV show is called Perfect Player. Again, a reality show, but this time with boys, with men, for them not to be jealous, you know, because we always say we have things for girls, not for us. So I said, okay, let's do something for boys now. And that was a total success as well.
So what was the concept of Perfect Player? Is it how to pick up women or what?
No. Far from there. So the idea was to keep 12 boys in a lodge.
Okay.
So we worked with a very pleasant place called Native Lodge, which is found in the southeast of Mauritius. So the idea was to keep the boys there, and each day we would give them a challenge, and it was really like sports related and adventure based.
Okay.
So that was very interesting as well, and it was on television for 12 weeks, and it was a total success as well.
Oh, nice, nice. So you've gone from dancing to pitching a fashion company, and now running TV productions for reality TV shows that you come up with a concept and you work with your husband to bring to life and air on TV. So let's talk a little bit about your partnership with your husband. I read somewhere that he was a Bollywood TV director, correct? Or movie director?
Exactly. He's an actor and also a director. A director.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does the partnership between you and your husband work when you're creating these TV shows and these concepts to bring to life?
Yeah. So well, it's we share the same passion. We are lucky to share the same passion.
Okay.
So this is how well he had his company in India. He's Indian.
Okay.
So he had his company in India called International Silver Dollar Production, and when he got married to me, then of course he settled in Mauritius, and this is how we came about the idea of setting up his business in Mauritius, and we settled the company here as well, International Silver Dollar Production, and this is how we started collaborating on the first TV show Beauty Queen, and after that we saw that we could work together, although of course we do have clashes because it's not always pink, you know.
Yeah.
We have different views and different tones, but we do find it quite easy to work together. And this is how we started a new TV show, A Perfect Player, and after that, well, I don't know if it's a little bit too early to talk about it, but we do have a third project which is going to be a TV serial right now.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking forward for that, and cross fingers. Let's hope it's soon.
That's good. That's good. And I think I also read somewhere that you were the lead actress in a feature film that your husband directed. Is that correct? So let's talk a little bit about the movie.
No.
That's not correct?
No, I was the main actress in the film.
Okay.
But my husband wasn't the director.
Oh, he wasn't
under our.
Oh, okay.
It was yeah.
Okay, so how is the movie industry in Mauritius? Because in Africa, for example, a lot of people know about Nollywood, and it churns out more movies, second next to Bollywood in terms of volume of movies, and then maybe by value, it's third or fourth in the world, something like that. So how's the movie industry in Mauritius?
Well, I have to say that it's quite slow, unfortunately. We don't have a very active cinema industry, although it could be a pillar of our economy. I think Nigeria, the country where you come from, has understood this, and I think it's a good thing. And Nollywood is doing really well in the world, and congratulations for that. And I hope it's high time for our government to understand that it is it can be an important industry. And with the new government, we just came to take the country last December. I think they happen to understand now that the cinema industry can be a pillar. So we have the Mauritius Film Development Corporation with a new chairman now, Mr. Dick Sriwa, who believes in the industry, and this is I think the starting of a new era in the cinema industry, because it has been dormant for a long period of time, and we do have quite a lot of talented people here, be it technically or talents in front of a camera. So we do have a festival called Cool, which is organized by an association called Porteurs d'Images, and they are doing a brilliant job as well. They are training people to become technicians of the cinema or actors also. So it's existing since 8 years now, and I think it's doing really well in the region. We do they do accept films from the region as well, from Indian Ocean and Africa. And this is how the director of L'Ombrage Camp, the film in which I featured, David Constantin, is one of the pioneers of the film festival, and he did his own film last year, and it did really well. The film went across the world. He presented the film in different festivals in Belgium, in France, in Africa, lately in Seattle, in America. So I think the potential is here. It's just that we need to set up the right environment for it. The government needs to support more, and
the
of course the private sector has to play the game as well.
Okay.
And what's interesting,
I said the government needs to support the arts.
Yeah, exactly. The government has just, it exists since I think 1 or 2 years now. It's a rebate scheme which encourages foreign film crews to come and film in Mauritius. And the MTTA, which is the Mauritius Tourism Promotion Authority, is supporting a new a new scheme which is called the film induced tourism. So it's all about encouraging film crews to come to Mauritius and shoot, and this is how it becomes a window on Mauritius as well for the whole world. It's good to mention that so many Bollywood films have been shot in Mauritius, and it's for us it's a huge visibility across the world to show what Mauritius can offer, the kind of services and views that we have in Mauritius. So I think it's a good idea, which has been set up by the government of Mauritius.
Yeah, that's good. That's one way to diversify the economy, because I know, at least from my understanding of Mauritius, it's kind of like the Switzerland of Africa in terms of nice corporate structures. You can easily set up a business. You have some tax-free incentives by the government, which helps you limit your tax liability in your operating country. I know a lot of big firms in Nigeria actually register first in Mauritius before they now have their subsidiaries operating in Nigeria. So it's really interesting to hear these new initiatives that the government is coming up with to boost the tourism industry in Mauritius. So let's switch gears and talk about you personally. We've learned a lot about your business, but now let's learn about you, Nalini. So could you tell us how do you juggle having 3 careers, one in dance, in fashion, and also in the TV and media space? So how do you balance your time between your 3 different business entities as well as your family life?
Yeah, so I do have a team with me. I'm not alone.
Okay.
So I think the team is doing a wonderful job, and of course, being the leader of the company, I'm the one who motivates everybody to come up with new ideas and everything by coming up with new ideas. But I have a beauty care salon, like a spa, and I have professionals from the beauty industry who work in the salon, so they take care of that segment of the company. And for the film and television part, my husband is there, so we do that's on a separate company anyway. That's on International Silver Dollar Production, so my husband is there to help me. And I have my son also, who's very much into the business, helping me quite a lot with the dance studio. He's the one who coaches the students, because I don't have time to coach. So my son is one who's in charge of the studio to take the classes and everything. And I'm the main choreographer of the dance group. So I do the choreographies, I teach the coaches. I have a team of coach. So I teach the coaches, and they are the one who go and teach the students and the other dancers. So it's well planned and it's well organized.
Okay, great. And it seems like you've assigned different roles to different people. So basically, you're adding just the leadership and strategic thought behind how each different company should operate, and then supporting them as best you can, and giving them the opportunity to express their own leadership by running and trusting their judgment.
That's all how it is, yes.
Okay, great. So, what makes you excited about being an entrepreneur and running your own company or companies?
Well, it's again freedom.
Okay.
I love my freedom, and well, what's great about it is also you know, I don't feel like I'm working because I'm doing something I love. I'm passionate about what I do, and even my sisters and my family, they think that I don't work, and they think that I'm not busy, but I'm very busy, and they think that I'm the one who can, you know, handle the things about the family because I don't work, and that's what they think. And dancing is not working, and I always tell them, you just have to come and do what I do for only one day and see
Yeah.
if it's easy or not. And that's the whole spirit of being an entrepreneur. You know, I love that freedom. I love coming to the office, the first person reaching the office and the last person leaving the office. That's also part of the fun of it, you know. So it's all exciting, and I don't have to take the permission of anybody to start a new project, for example. If well, of course, I discuss it with my team to see if they are interested about it or not, but the final decision is still mine, you know. So it's that's the thing which I like about being an entrepreneur.
Okay. And so, what's your leadership style? I think you've alluded to this, but I just want you to articulate it a little more. What's your leadership style in terms of how you operate with your husband and your spouse and your son, as well as your team members in all your other ventures? So, what's your leadership style?
What's my leadership? What?
Style.
Oh, style. Okay. So, well, I think I like everybody to get how do you say, to get involved, and I love it that way. When I get a new idea, I always discuss about it to the other team members, and if it won't work well, they tell me their ideas as well, their opinion, and their opinion is very well accepted by me, and they are always invited. I make myself like available, and I let them know that their idea count, and this is the fruit of my success till now. It's always been on a two-way basis, you know. That's how it works for me.
It's a very collaborative style, I guess.
Yeah. I like the cooperation of my staff and my team members. Even, you know, even for doing the choreography of a dance item, for example, I would propose them the steps, and if they're not at ease with it, they'll tell me, and we'll find something else together. That's how I like it to operate, and that's how it works, really.
Okay. So now you mentioned earlier that while you were running the dance company, there was a financial crisis which led you to come up with a different way to diversify your income stream so that you wouldn't completely lose the ability to support your family. So could you talk a little bit about some of the frustrating things of being an entrepreneur in Mauritius?
Well, I would say in once again, I'll mention the wonderful job being done by the government of Mauritius. We do have quite a lot of schemes for what we call the SMEs, the small and medium entrepreneurs. So the government has understood, especially in the last budget, they came up with brilliant concepts and supports to encourage people to launch their own business. And this is how I started my business as well. This is my business has been supported by the DBM, the Development Bank of Mauritius, and we do have quite a lot of facilities, I have to say, in Mauritius. But on a personal basis, what is more frustrating is being an entrepreneur. We do have difficulties, especially when we start up. So when I started, it was quite a lot of expenses at the beginning to before you do your clientele.
Hmm.
So I took a business loan, and I had the rent, I had the salary of the staff, and it hasn't been very easy all the time at the beginning to support my business. So at the end of the month, when you think how are you going to support the rent, how are you going to pay the salary of the staff, how are you going to pay the business loan, I think that has been the biggest frustration to start with in the beginning.
Okay. What are some of the opportunities you see for a young entrepreneur to take advantage of in Mauritius? Like maybe somebody listening to this show and is thinking, oh, I want to start a business or a venture in Africa. And Nalini is talking about the wonderful things the government in Mauritius is doing. What do you see, for example, that you could possibly share with the audience about maybe coming to Mauritius to come and investigate and possibly launch?
Well, now is the right time. Mauritius is doing really, really well on the international level, and I would say in the regional level also, being an African country. So you have to know that Mauritius in December was 39th on the. It was voted 39th position on by the WEF, the World Economic Forum. So we're doing very well, and we are the best in Africa. The government really wants to use Mauritius as a platform in the Indian Ocean between the rest of the world to Africa. So I think we are very well positioned in that, and the government has very interesting schemes as well, as you mentioned earlier. We do have a sector called the BOI, Board of Investment, where we do have quite a lot of schemes for people who are on international level who want to come and invest in Mauritius. So now is the right time because Mauritius is a developing country. We are doing very well socially. We are very stable politically, and our infrastructures are working really well, be it on the health level or even the let's say the tourism, or our education system is doing brilliantly well. So I think right now is the time to come and invest in Mauritius. And your question about young entrepreneurs in Mauritius, this is again, in my opinion, the right time to start. Anybody who want to start in the entrepreneur, this is the right time because Mauritius has set up new schemes. We now have a bank, the SME bank, which gives facilities to new people or young people who want to launch their own entrepreneur. So this is a segment where the Mauritian government wants to put a lot of emphasis. So I think right now is the total right now to start something.
Okay, great. This is sharing your experiences about being an entrepreneur and all your many ventures, just like I'm talking to you now. So, how did it feel to be approached by CNN and to have that video shown all over the globe to however hundreds of millions of people that watch CNN, and you sharing your story and representing Mauritius? How did it feel to be featured in that?
Well, it feels great. I'm honored, and I consider myself privileged because, well, first of all, when CNN contacted me, I thought it was a joke. So because it's like, unbelievable, like suddenly you get a mail from CNN telling you that they want to come and follow you for 2 days in your country and see how your life is. So I found it wonderful, and I immediately seized the opportunity. And I have to say that it's a pride for me to bring Mauritius along with me on the international level, because we have to note that CNN has 280 million household views, so it's huge. And I'm lucky to be kind of an ambassador of Mauritius on the international level. So I consider myself very lucky for that. And I would like to thank you also for having chosen me.
Okay.
I'm doing the same thing again.
So as we wind down the show, I'll just give you two more questions and then we'll wrap up. So Looking back on your career, and I think we spoke about this a little bit, but if you could go back and advise yourself, what's the one thing you tell your younger self to do or to watch out for based on your experience over 15 years or 20 years as an entrepreneur? Well, you did the dance for 15 years, so it's obviously longer than that. But if you could go back in time when you were first starting out at 17, 18, what's the one thing you'd advise yourself to do or to watch out for?
Well, I think, as I told you earlier in the beginning of this conversation, I didn't plan to become an entrepreneur. It just happened. So I didn't take any particular course to become an entrepreneur. But well after, I did take courses like leadership skills and marketing and public relation. I did take small courses, but I think if I had to start in my career as an artist right now, maybe I would learn, because I would learn how to handle a business before launching myself. Because for 15 years I didn't learn how to make business. It just happened, and I just did it naturally and instinctively.
What are
Maybe
some of
that
the
was something that I
useful
would consider.
tools you've used to help you and encourage you on your entrepreneurial journey? Be it a book, a message, a podcast, or documentary. What are some of the things that you've read and you've utilized in the past to help you keep doing what you're doing? Hello?
Um, well, I love reading. I do read quite a lot,
Okay.
and I love the inspirational messages of Les Brown, if you know him. I love Les Brown. I read his messages every morning before going to work, because I think it's really inspirational, and I do take into consideration when I started my career, for example, I did have quite a lot of support from my teachers also. Well, I did have a few teachers: my dance teacher, my drama teacher, my cinema, audiovisual courses teacher, and the first people who believed in me when even I didn't believe in me at that time. So they did guide me, they did advise me, and these advices were very precious to me. I took them and I worked on them. And I'm a very critical person as well. I love, I believe in auto-criticizing. So I always take time analyzing things that I do wrong and do things that I do well, things that work and things that don't work. So I think that's very important for every one of us who are in entrepreneurship. And well, this is the kind of thing which keeps me going, and of course the appreciation of people. Because without the people who follow us, the people who love our job, who love our show, we wouldn't be here. So I think when people give us their appreciation, this is what really motivates me to keep on going. Like, for example, CNN interviewing me, or even she inviting me on Bulletproof
And do you have any favorite
Entrepreneur.
books
So
that you
this is the
recommend?
kind of things. For me, this is the biggest rewards of my
Okay.
career.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. So my Bible always stay under my pillow. I my Bible first thing in the morning when I wake up. But one book which I really love to learn,
Okay.
I keep on reading
Okay.
it each 2-3 years. I have it for a long time now. It's Conversations with God by Neil Donald Wow. I love that. I think it consumes life, and it does like a good overview of life,
Okay.
you know, of
Oh,
everything
great,
which is
great.
existence.
I
I
took
love that
everything
book, and
those
I
two
would
down.
recommend it to anybody listening to me. It changed my life.
Okay. And Since we're about to go, is there any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with anyone listening to the show right now?
Yes, well, I think, I don't think I have that much wisdom, but I'll try to give an advice.
Mm,
So I think if you're passionate about something, you have to go for it and make it become your job, because it's true that when you're working into something that you're passionate about, you do it with so
mm,
much love, so much pleasure, and you tend to do it when you wake up and before you go to sleep. You never get tired. So that would be my advice to people who love doing something and who want to start a business. It's true
nice.
that being an entrepreneur does have quite a lot of downs, but it does have quite a lot of ups as well. And when yeah, definitely. When you are doing something that you love with people that you love around you, I think that's fantastic. And people who want to go into entrepreneurship, they have to really be bulletproof, as your show is entitled. So you have to be bulletproof. You have to be strong. You have
That's
to be
great.
a
And with
leader.
that
You
said,
have
guys,
to
we've
be
reached the end of the
motivated all
show.
the
I just want to
time.
thank you,
And
Nalini,
that's
for
my advice
taking the time
to
out
our
to talk
listeners
to the
today.
listeners and to me, sharing your entrepreneurial story, the ups and downs, the challenges you've had, and of course, the words of wisdom that you've just imparted on us. And obviously, we look forward to hearing and reading more about you in the coming weeks, months, years, and just seeing all the different things you're going to come up with in the future. So, thank you, and that's it. So, I will. Thank you.
Thank you for yourself, and good luck to you. Keep up with the job. You're doing a brilliant job. I listened
I'm
to
sure.
your interviews on your
I'm sure
website,
you
and
have.
it's
I'm sure you
amazing.
have.
It's really
Thank you, Nalini.
inspirational. I hope I can inspire some people as well, just like all these people on the show. Thank you for inviting me.